Welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and injury update on Martin Ødegaard and Bukayo Saka as well. Now, according to Sky Sports, Martin Ødegaard has not suffered a setback, as it was reported earlier on by a few sources calling themselves, exclusive reports. There is no setback on Martin Ødegaard's injury, and is expected to return to Arsenal by the 2nd of November. Yes, he will miss out on the Arsenal-Liverpool game. He will miss out on the Arsenal-Bournemouth game. That is this month in October. But come November, Martin Ødegaard should be able to return. Bukayo Saka is having further assessment. He's returned to Arsenal. He has left the England national team camp. He's back at Arsenal for further assessments, but it is not looking very good. Bukayo Saka could have suffered an injury that could see him out for the rest of this year. So probably we could get to see him back in January. I tell you, with Saka, most of the time, you're always hearing something quickly. Yes, he picks up those knocks. Yes, he picks up those small injuries. But most of the time, within 24 hours, within like 12 hours, you're going to receive something very, very quickly. It's going to be okay. It's going to be, in a good position. But the England national team, they have assessed him and they have not given us any conclusive report, any conclusive evidence that the player is going to be okay. The Arsenal team is working around him. They're making assessments. They're doing further assessments. He has had a few assessments today, but there is no further reports to actually clarify on the position, on the extent of the injury of the player. So if you're a real Arsenal fan, this is the time to panic. Yes, Odegaard is returning in November, and that's a brilliant idea. But without Saka, we do not know how we deal with his absence. We don't know how we deal with the fact that you don't have your most important player on the pitch. So let's start off with the Bukayo Saka one, which has been reported today again by Sky Sports. They've done a great job around this injury, probably because he's English, and they have confirmed that Arsenal have actually taken the player for further assessment after he was withdrawn from the England national team camp. Now, of course, that injury didn't look good. The player was in tears, and a few sources are saying it's going to be, or it could be, a hamstring injury. And if it's a hamstring injury, the thing with hamstring injuries is at times you cannot, most cases, there is nothing you can do about them. You know, with ankle injuries, you could run it off. With the knee injury, I don't know, you could, you could do anything. You could play with it. There are injuries you can't play with. Hamstring injuries, ACL injuries, those are injuries you cannot play with. So Saka, we are used to the fact that he's he's always this guy that is resilient, consistent. He's always there. Whether he's suffering an injury or not, whether he's having a fitness issue or not, Saka is always there. Saka is always, turning up and is always giving us the best of the best. But with hamstring injuries, you cannot play with it. You really can't play with it. Now, this year, I think it was towards the back end of the campaign, it was Sami Makpo who actually revealed that Saka was playing with, an Achilles injury, a slight Achilles problem, but it was expected for the problem not to be that big, right? And again, towards the end of the campaign, reports started circulating around social media and around online blogs that Saka was playing with a big wound on his leg, actually, but he was hiding it from the medical team. He was hiding it from the whoever is concerned, because he wanted to play every single game. So the player has been telling the medical team and has been telling the fitness team that he's okay to continue, he's okay to play every single game, yet in reality, he has been carrying some injuries. Now, I don't believe that Saka has been carrying a big wound on his leg. I really don't believe that, because honestly, I think Arsenal is one of the teams that are professionally taking care of our players. I don't think we are reckless and careless to an extent that our main player, our biggest product, is having a big wound on the leg, and we have not noticed. I don't think. I mean, there are cameras everywhere, around this Arsenal team. But one thing I'm going to concur with is he has been carrying injuries. He has been carrying injuries. He's the most kicked player in the Premier League. He's the most kicked player, I think, in Europe. He is kicked. And I don't think he gets the protection players like Ronaldo, Messi, Eden Hazard, the kind of protection those guys were getting, I don't think Saka is getting them. And I think for me, he deserves it. For England, for Arsenal, he has proven that he's such an important player, and therefore clubs are going to have proactive strategies of stopping him. And those proactive strategies are deal with him, bring him down. So for me, it's not looking good, right? England have refused to say anything. At this point in time, if it was not serious, if it was a little bit minor, this is where the England national team come out and say, listen, yes, he suffered this kind of injury, but it should be okay, right? He has left the camp, but it should be okay. Nothing serious. Oh, it is serious, but he will be back within a short period of time. They have not said anything like that. The Arsenal team, of course, with Mikel Arteta, you expect him to conceal the information until our next game. If you do not see Saka against Bournemouth, guys, I'm going to say this. If you don't see Saka against Bournemouth, he could be out for a very long time. He might be out for a very, very long time. I'm very, very afraid. But the positive side of this coin, I mean, for whatever action that happens, there is always an opposite and equal reaction. Probably this is the opposite equal reaction. Martin Ødegaard is expected to return to Arsenal very, very soon. Now, according to Sky, they have said that contrary to reports on social media, Martin Ødegaard has not suffered a setback, with Arsenal hopeful he can return from his ankle injury in November. Now, I want to say this, and I'm going to show you the Arsenal fixture list right here. Just give me a moment. If Martin Ødegaard returns just in time for November and December fixtures, I'm okay with that. Because this is our fixture list in November and December. This is where we're going to play, lots of football. So I want to show you this. He's going to miss all the October fixtures. So he's going to miss out on Bournemouth, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Liverpool. Those are 3 games. I think Arsenal can beat Liverpool at home, Arsenal can beat Bournemouth, and Arsenal can beat Shakhtar Donetsk without Odegaard. And then Preston North End as well. So we have 4 games in October that Odegaard won't be playing. If he returns just in time for Newcastle, November 2nd, Inter Milan, November 6th, Chelsea, November 10th, and Nottingham Forest, November 23rd, I'm okay, right? I'm okay with that. And then Sporting Lisbon as well, November 26th and the 30th of November, where we will take on West Ham. I'm okay with that, right? Because after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 6 games, 6 games in November, Arsenal will then have around 7 games in December as well. So whether we get Odegaard back in October or November, I don't mind. We have 3 more games in October. We can deal with that, right? As long as we don't lose all of them, as long as we pick up some 3 points in the Premier League, we will be all right. The job is in November. The job is in December. Because with December, that is where you have game time taking a toll out of your players. And again, you've got to imagine this, guys. You've got to imagine this. The players will have another international break in November. So we're going to have another international break in November. It's quite mad. It's quite mad. But Odegaard is coming back. Saka, we await reports from further assessments, and I'll be the first one to let you know, obviously.